Harold Moser has been making friends and making deals in Naperville for most of 80 years. He's also helped to build a community. This is his story.
Harold is not one just to take from the community. Harold is the community and part of the community. He gives to the community. It's important.
When you see the various developments that he's done in Naperville, and no matter where you go, you're going to see it. In other words, all the way from Route 59 over to the east side of town, and all the way from the tollway to Brighton Ridge, and now down to 113th Street. Why, you don't see track houses.
Tremendous businessman. His brain is fantastic. Physically, he has a lot of trouble, as everybody knows. But you never hear the man complain. He's always been great.
He's contributed back to the community more than anybody else that's ever lived in this community.
Whether they were a clerk in a store, or whether they were the mayor, or whether they were members of the hierarchy of his church, or etc. It was that he just liked people.
He set the pattern. He was a mentor of mine, no question about it. And I was blessed by knowing him.
A lot of people would agree with Elmer Dagnus. That's because a lot of people have been fortunate to know the man they call Mr. Naperville. Harold Moser was born in 1914 on his grandfather's homestead near Fort Wayne, Indiana. He learned about hard work from his father, an osteopathic surgeon who brought the family to Naperville when Harold was only 3.
I certainly acquired from him the work ethic. He was always busy, and the only difference, I believe, I've mixed some pleasure with business, whereas my dad never had the opportunity for much of that.
As a young man, Harold considered the priesthood, but he wound up starting the Naperville Sun and working in sales until a bout of illness led him to decide his future lay still elsewhere.
A bicycle rider hit me in the back end, and I developed an osteomyelitis, and I was in the hospital for about 8 months. And then I was home for another 4 or 5 months, laid up. And when you're laid up that way, you start thinking of what you're going to do.
Back on his feet again, Harold plunged into Naperville commerce, first selling coal and then lumber, which gave him yet another idea, using that lumber to build homes for World War II veterans.
These fellas coming home didn't have any roof over their head. They, in many cases, were doubling up and tripling up and everything else. And really, I was interested in giving them a nice, good house for the money.
Harold was also laying the foundation for a lifetime of success.
I don't think there's any secret. I think it's hard work. I think you have to, if you have an idea, you stick with it doggedly. And no matter how tough the going is, get the job done.
It didn't take long for word to spread that Moser Developments offered a quality lifestyle at an affordable price.
I've always prided myself upon the fact that for each and every customer, they had a particular need and in housing, and I always tried to provide the design and housing for their needs.
In the late 40s, Harold met an attractive Wheaton girl named Margaret Donovan at a parish party. They were married in 1949 and have been enjoying life together ever since.
We've taken many cruise trips down through the Caribbean. We've made many overnight trips to New York. We leave on a Friday afternoon on the 20th century and get in Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. And first thing we do is get tickets for a show that night. Then we'd get tickets for the ball game. And we'd go out and see a ball game and then do a show in the evening. And Sunday, take in another ball game and go directly from the stadium to the train for an overnight ride, get in Chicago at 8 o'clock.
By 1950, Harold was well along with his first project, 52 homes near Burlington Park. Harold still remembers his first buyer.
He was a returning veteran, and he was the first sign-up for a house. We built it, and we had him in it in less than 90 days.
In those days, subdivision homes often were nearly identical. Harold believed buyers deserved better than Levittown lookalikes. He thought subdivisions should have parkways, parks, and schools.
Levittown was a cookie cutter project, and I decided to make mine different designs. Each house had to be a little different. We didn't use a cookie cutter.
After Burlington Park came Moser Highlands, and then Cress Creek, the Chicago area's first golf course community. Harold's business was growing rapidly, and he found himself increasingly involved in Naperville banking and community affairs, and with a group known as the Breakfast Club.
Well, it was a group of 7 or 8 fellows that would meet every morning at 8 o'clock at the coffee shop Catacorner across from the bank downtown. We all had our own chairs, stools, I should say, and it was a very lively group. I think one of the most bizarre mornings was shortly, this was right after I had acquired the majority of the stock interest in the Naperville Bank, and the guys were all razzing me about it there. And so somebody got the bright idea on the clock out in front that they would put the word, a big banner over Naperville and put it Moser National Bank. And we sat there. When I got there, I didn't see it when I got there, and I got in there and saw it. And we saw everybody slowing up, stopping, and what have you at the intersection.
Through the years, Harold had become increasingly influential, and he was not shy about using his influence in behalf of those he felt deserved it. People like George Pradle.
When I applied to be a police officer in Naperville, they said that you shouldn't even waste your time because you're too short. And I passed all the tests with flying colors, and I had one more phase of the test to go through, and that was the oral interview. And so Mr. Moser was the head of the board, and he actually was the president, and he listened to what I had to say, and he said, we're going to go into executive session. And when they went into executive session, I thought, oh, here we go. They'll come out and say, well, we've decided not to take you. And then when they came out, they said, we're going to make an exception to the rule, and we are going to take you, and you are going to be a police officer in the city of Naperville. Well, I could just about hit the ceiling. I jumped up and thought that was really super. That was an answer to my prayer to become a policeman in Naperville.
I just felt that he would make a hell of a good police officer. In his interview, he was very positive, and he impressed me immensely. I did put him on the force. The mayor at that time, Bill Zeininger, gave me hell for it, but I just rubbed that off forgot about it. That in my judgment, I did it right.
Besides helping individuals, Harold and Margaret Moser have also been generous to Naper settlement, churches, and schools. Harold began donating land for schools and parks long before the city required it. He says it's because he never had time to finish school himself.
I have given land to many churches. I've given building donations to the colleges. I really never did finish college. I finished 2 years and never did go back. But in all fairness, 3 different colleges in the course of time gave me a doctor's degree of human letters from North Central College, Illinois Benedictine College, and College of St. Francis. So maybe somebody thought I completed 4 years.
I think what's remarkable about Harold is that he is very sincere in what he does. And he's very sincere in doing things for people, for his friends as well as people he doesn't know.
In more than 50 years as a real estate developer, banker, and civic leader, Harold Moser has helped the Naperville area become one of the fastest growing regions in America. Harold himself created more than 20 developments from Cress Creek to White Eagle and more. In 1993, he officially retired, leaving Maycom Corporation in the hands of his trusted associate, Paul Lehman.
I think the biggest thing that can be learned from Harold Moser is to have a vision, to see that vision through. But in seeing that vision through, make sure that you're true to yourself, that you're true to your community, and that you do the best job that you can in fulfilling whatever your dreams are. And if you generally do that, you will see fruitful dreams ensue.